Hello, my dear friends and viewers. It's not a very happy bookworm today. I'm feeling a bit off colour and had been so sick over the weekend that I even had an ECG done. But all seems to be okay, so there's no need to worry. I'm sure I'll be fine soon. But if all of this sounds a bit low energy, please forgive me. All will be well next week, I'm sure. Anyway, it does not happen often that I'm a fence sitter. I always have an opinion one way or the other, but today I'm just rather sad and I cannot exactly explain why. But let us talk for a minute about the unveiling of Diana's statue. Harry looked more relaxed than he had in a long time, yet on the other hand he came across slightly hyper, too eager to please and be part of every conversation. William was hard to read. Except for a vein popping in his forehead a few times, he maintained his cool and remained professional, just like we would expect from him. What happened after the unveiling is anyone's guess, but it is said that Harry left for the airport approximately 20 minutes after the unveiling and after only sharing one drink with the family. Of course, the couple is now milking Meghan's Uncle Mike's death for all it is worth, namely newspaper headlines and bylines, or, of course, as an excuse for Harry to pull a vulture stunt. For those of you who do not know, we used to call people or visitors who arrive just before lunch or dinner and leave soon after vultures. Anyway, the statue itself. I feel terrible having to say this, but I really don't like it. From an artistic point of view, I think it was a fail. The head is slightly too big, the shoulders too wide, the hips too narrow, and the huge belt buckle draws the eye immediately and away from the subject matter. I saw the photograph the clothing on the statue was modelled on, and in real life it looked okay. But all in one dreary colour, it just looks shabby. The other mistake, I think, which was made was to try and send a message, instead of just celebrating the woman Diana was. The political correctness of the children also sort of leaves an aftertaste in one's mouth. I find it rather contrite and a bit fake, and the clothing on the children reminds one of the coal miner children in the 1930s. I also find the third child semi-hidden behind the Diana figure a little strange, to say the least, and perhaps even unnecessary. Two of the children are looking off in one direction, with the third one even pointing in that direction, yet the Diana figure is looking straight ahead. It makes him look more like a strict school teacher than a beloved humanitarian. Perhaps it would have given a warmer impression had she been sitting or kneeling with the children. The hair of the Diana figure also looks slapped on, and I almost feel I could do better with clay and a fork. But now, having been so critical, I really feel bad. This statue actually has nothing to do with us. It was William and Harry's project in remembrance of their mother. So if they are happy with it, who am I to criticize? But the Diana statue was not the only one in the news. While the Diana statue was being unveiled, statues of Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth II was being defiled and pulled down by protesters in Winnipeg, Canada. The statues were toppled in outrage over the discovery of unmarked graves belonging to Indigenous children. A group of people wearing orange shirts to honour these Indigenous children, sent to the residential schools in the past, covered the Victoria statue and its plinth in red handprints and placed a sign reading, "We were children once, bring us home." I do not know enough about this part of Canada's history at this point to comment on these actions, but what does matter to me is that at least 150,000 children were forcibly removed from their families to attend these schools, where they then were often subjected to horrific treatment. It is for these little lost souls that I'm crying, and I can understand the anger and heartache as more and more skeletal remains are found. However, defiling and destroying cold stone statues will not return or make up for these little lost souls, just as no statue will ever return Diana's essence to this earthly plane. While I was, however, contemplating the evil of humans and what they are capable of, and all the hurt and anger which is currently manifesting all over the world, it makes me wonder, why are people incapable of learning from the past? I usually watch true crime videos when I have some off time, and lately there had been one missing child after the other, murdered children, and horrific stories about child abuse, trafficking, and unimaginable acts against the most innocent and vulnerable of society. And why? Why does this happen? But perhaps we should stop asking why and instead start looking at more stringent measures to try and prevent it. And while we are talking about all these horrific acts, let us spend a few moments contemplating how many of these crimes could have been prevented. Although there are many examples, two of the better-known cases are the Laurie Vallow Chad Daybell case, and most recently the missing Summer Wells case. In the Laurie Daybell case, her husband begged authorities to act, telling them that she was volatile and that she threatened his life. But even after he was then in fact shot by her brother and killed, still nothing was done. And today we have a scenario where 4 other people are dead, including 2 children. Although we do not know yet as to what happened to 5-year-old Summer Wells, it has come to light that there were domestic abuse problems as well as drug and alcohol abuse issues. And then there is the Orrin and Orson West case, 2 little boys still missing from Cal City. And although it is also not known what happened to them, people have come out and told how the children were mostly kept inside and out of sight, the actual adoption seems to have been dubious, etc., etc. But what is the point of speaking out now? Anyway, I find the topic rather upsetting, and as I'm not a regular true crime YouTuber, I'm not sure about the rules and regulations, and therefore I would rather shut up now and return to a safer subject, but remaining in the category of children. After having asked the right questions to the right people with regards to the Lily Diana birth certificate, we got some fairly straightforward answers. It had been verified that the birth certificate as published and distributed by TMZ is not legal in the United States. However, it is now widely accepted that it is a fake or a mock-up. But by who? The Harkles or TMZ? When contacted about this, the California Department of Public Health suggested that the local law enforcement agency be contacted for investigation in the matter. Unfortunately, neither myself nor Paula M., who did the initial inquiry, can do so, as neither of us live in California. So perhaps there's 1 or 2 of you who are brave enough to actually do so, but that is entirely up to you. So anyway, there is that. Of course, after everything I spoke about on this video, I think there is more than a fake birth certificate to look into. Whether they have custody of the baby or not, these children are being alienated from their grandparents, cousins, and their entire extended family. People who had been in the Harkles' orbit have reported that they are not allowed to interact or even look in Archie's direction. Now, in what world is this considered normal? And why should this be allowed to continue just because this couple add Duke and Duchess to their names? Anyway, as I said, I'm rather sick or ill this weekend, and although better, I'm still feeling a little strange and off colour. So I'm going to leave you with this for now, and hopefully in the coming week I'll feel more energetic and more like myself, and we can continue to catch up with all our discussions. So until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.